It's unbelievable that you guys have treated us like this. We're on the road trying to help you guys.
We asked you to clear the road and you said no, and you'll get arrested instead of doing it. This is stuff that you got to talk about with your lawyer. I can't.
I stopped the threat. We would have all been shot.
Hey, check that out. I stopped to help somebody who's been shot. I'm getting arrested.
Heroes are usually rewarded for their actions, but unfortunately these heroes are arrested instead, and the reasons are insane. Here are some cases where the heroes were shown the prison door, starting with this hero who tried to save the victim of an accident.
Thank you for teaching me not to be helpful, you fat...
On October 9th, 2020, retired firefighter Joseph Garce was driving in Santa Paula, California, when he spotted a shooting victim, Samir Salgado, lying in a pool of blood in a parking lot. Without hesitation, Garce exited his vehicle and began administering CPR to the victim. Shortly after, police officers from the Santa Paula Police Department arrived at the scene.
Don't go to the car. Don't go to the car. Stay over here. Stay over here. Stay over here. Come over here. That's your car?
That's my car. I was driving by. I saw him. I'm a retired firefighter.
Okay.
I'm not a part of this.
We don't know anything about that. We see a gun in the car. You're not going there. Do you have your ID?
It's in the car.
What's your name?
Joe Garces.
Joe Garces, you got to relax, okay? We know you're helping us out.
Boy, but you guys aren't listening either. That's part of the problem. Yeah.
So I said we appreciate your being involved, okay? We're just running.
That's his knife. I took it out of his pocket to cut his shirt off.
And that's your vehicle?
Yeah, I was driving north. I saw the lady. They were looking this way, and I saw him down, and I thought it was beer or something. Spun around and came in, saw the blood. She said they were calling 911. I screamed, has he been shot? She said, yeah, it was. I was pulling in.
Okay.
Saw the gunshot wound to the side of his face. I did a quick check, found the gun in his waistband, rendered it useless, stuck it inside my car, grabbed his knife, cut off his shirt, and then you guys started showing up.
Okay. Did you see
CPR.
anybody running, anybody leaving the area, anything?
Not a thing.
Garce provided further details on the incident. Initially, the interaction was respectful. However, the situation took a dark turn for the worse when Santa Paula Police Detective Rivera arrived and began to adopt a condescending attitude.
Not a thing.
Get this guy out of here. Sir.
He's a witness.
What the?
Relax. Hey,
We
Star.
appreciate it.
Huh?
So I got a crime scene, sir. I'm a detective.
Yeah, and I'm here helping him, so step the off. Okay? If you're a good detective, you wouldn't be yelling at me right now. You'd be taking care of your job.
Over here.
You. I can't get the out of here.
Get out of my crime scene. Get out of my crime scene.
What are you going to do to me?
Get out of my crime scene. I'm going to make you next time. Get out of my crime scene.
Come with me, Mr. Garces. Mr. Garces.
That's my...
Come with me, Mr. Garces.
People will give you guys the benefit of the doubt. And I worked with you for 27 years. When do I get my car back then? Hey, tell them... Thank you for teaching me not to be helpful, you fat piece.
You have to step back. Step back. Step back. Step back. Step back. Step back. I don't know who you're.
Oh yeah, so now you're gonna come over with me, huh? You're doing a really good job right now, aren't you?
I need you to back up.
You need to calm him.
I need you to back up. Come here.
No.
I got it. Come here.
No, you need to understand.
Take it down a notch.
You can take
Take
it down
a notch.
Somebody here's not
Take it
controlling themselves.
down.
It's you.
Take a deep breath.
Don't be a hypocrite.
I've taken a deep breath. It's your turn now.
Yeah, don't be a
You want
hypocrite.
to talk like adults? I'll let you go. You want to talk
Did
like
you
adults?
start talking to me like an adult?
Do you understand how I need to
Do you
do my
see
job?
what you're doing wrong?
If you know how to do this job and you have a badge, then you would understand. Now, do you want
It's
to go
so
to 148 if you have a badge?
It's so
Do you have a badge?
Yes,
Are you
I do.
retired?
Yes.
Do you want to go for 148 for being in the crime scene? Just because sergeants of patrol don't know how to do their job, and you were a
You're
cop
saying
at
your
one time-
sergeant doesn't know how to do his job?
Take him. Turn him around. Where's your badge at?
In my Jeep, like I keep saying, but you
Where
won't
at your
listen.
Jeep? Where at in your Jeep?
Hey, you go see it when you look
Do
at
you
the
want
front
your
of
car?
Jeep.
Do you want me to have to write a search warrant and keep it, or do you want to keep your car? Do you want to get home as soon as possible?
I'm not talking anymore.
Okay. Sink him in car right
64. What's your first name?
Joe.
Joe.
Hey, check that out. I stopped to help somebody who's been shot. I'm getting arrested.
Have a seat for a second.
Garce was confined in the back of the patrol car for almost 15 minutes before Detective Rivera released him, stating that he was free to leave. As a result of the encounter, Garce endured a dislocated shoulder and a torn labrum, injuries requiring surgical intervention. Subsequently, Garce pursued legal action against Detective Rivera and the city of Santa Paula, ultimately reaching a settlement out of court. While Garce did receive compensation, he would think twice before intervening to save anyone again. However, the situation proved even worse for the next hero, who would ultimately regret his heroic actions forever.
The guy who pulls the gun isn't the one who goes to jail that night. You go to jail.
Exactly.
On June 27th, 2023, Army veteran Matt Solon and Michael Loudermilk, the son of a Georgia congressman, were out with their girlfriends in a parking lot when a gunman, identified as Dwight Cooper, attempted to threaten them with a gun. Matt swiftly disarmed and subdued the gunman, forcing him to the ground, and promptly dialed 911 after taking the firearm away from him.
Someone pulled a gun on me. This guy asked for a cigarette. We told him he doesn't have a cigarette. He's drunk, and he pulled a gun out on us. I disarmed him.
Who has the gun?
I have the gun. It's disarmed. It has hollow points in it. It's a Glock.
I want you to stand there, and I want you to put that gun on the ground, okay? Do not have it in your hand when they pull up.
Okay, it's on the ground.
Okay, tell them the gun's here and point to the ground, but keep your hands to where they can see them.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Where did that come from? It came from him bleeding from the head. The guy bleeding from the head? Yes, sir.
I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. Okay, do you think people ever lie to the police? Is it possible?
I could have got shot today.
Yep, me too. That's my job.
I was in the military for 6 years. I think I know that.
Congratulations,
I was
sir.
in Afghanistan. I know exactly what danger is. So I'm not armed. You want to test me or frisk me or whatever?
You're fine. Just don't move, and there's no issue with that. Don't go reaching in your pocket, man. You just
Get away to get thrown on the ground. Don't be stupid.
I understand completely. You're not exactly being cooperative either.
I'm putting him in my car.
Sure. Did I do something wrong?
I don't know what's going on. We're trying to detain you to figure out what's going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong or no?
Look at it this way, man.
I'm done talking.
Anytime we show up on a call, we have to do what we can for safety reasons until we can safely ask everybody questions. We got one guy with a gun, one guy bleeding, so we detain, and we wait till everything calms down, then we start asking questions and kind of figure out what happens in the scenario, just so you know why you're sitting back here.
No, I have no idea why I'm sitting back here. It doesn't explain anything.
Matt, step on now.
Yes, sir.
I had it under control, I feel like.
You had what under control?
The whole situation. I had him on the ground. I'm taking care of us out of the ambulance. I had it disarmed. And what else did you guys do?
All I'm told is that you're the last one to have the gun. You started touching your pockets and everything. I asked you not to, and you're like, hey, I'm the hero, or whatever you were saying.
Okay, sorry.
So.
I see your perspective.
Matt was arrested and subsequently charged with felony possession of a firearm. Subsequent media interviews with the police chief and Matt himself provided further insight into the events of that day and the unjust reasons behind his wrongful arrest.
In your view, is Matt Solon a hero?
During his initial response, that yes, I agree with that comment. I think when the second act was taken, that's where the lines crossed, where he protected himself and the people he was with, and I commend him for that. Then part two is where he took action beyond that, and that's where he did cross the line.
Did that appear to be punitive rather than defensive?
Yes, that's what I saw.
In contrast, Matt provided a different account.
I asked over and over and over again, what am I being arrested for? And Officer O'Brien said, he has rights too.
The gunman has rights.
The gunman has rights too. He was restrained and you hit him while he was restrained, and that's why you're going to jail. And I was like, he's never been restrained. He's not restrained.
How long were you in jail?
About 35 hours.
The guy who pulls the gun isn't the one who goes to jail that night.
Exactly.
You go to jail.
Exactly.
He isn't arrested till the next month.
No, and he's giving his gun back. They're going to see this when they run my plate, that I've been arrested before.
For a gun-related charge.
For a gun-related charge, right. And they're going to think in their head, oh, this guy just had a good lawyer. He got off it.
The district attorney dismissed all charges against Matt Solon, acknowledging that he had acted in self-defense. However, the damage had already been done. If you're enjoying the video so far, please don't forget to like and subscribe. The officer's actions permanently ruined Matt's record, but their actions were nothing in comparison to the subsequent officer's actions. On February 4th, 2014, an unbelievable event occurred when a CHP Highway Patrol officer arrested Chula Vista firefighter Jacob Gregoire. The Chula Vista firefighters had been providing medical assistance to victims of a rollover motor accident using their fire trucks to block traffic. When the officer instructed them to move their trucks, warning that failure to comply would result in arrest, Jacob chose to stay, insisting that he had a duty to the victim and could not simply abandon them.
Okay, I don't have time for assault zone. This is ridiculous. CHP is arresting Engineer Gregoire for where he spotted the fire engine.
We asked you to clear the road, and you said no, that you'd get arrested if we moving it.
Middle of patient care with patients on the freeway. They're putting him in handcuffs at this time and walking him away.
The Chula Vista firefighter chief supported his colleague's decision, affirming that prioritizing the victim's life was important. Firefighter Jacob was released half an hour later. The firefighter in this instance showed great bravery by prioritizing the victim's life above all else. However, the hero in the next next case faced severe consequences for undertaking a similar act of bravery.
Hey, we're done, sir. I had it.
On July 26, 2017, police officers from the Salt Lake City Police Department arrived at the University of Utah Hospital to obtain a blood sample from a victim who was involved in an accident after a vehicle pursued by the police during a car chase collided against his car, causing it to explode and resulting in several injuries and burns, leaving the victim in a coma. Upon their arrival, their attempts were halted by the charge nurse, Alex Woobles, and the ensuing interaction quickly descended into chaos.
It says obtaining blood samples for police enforcement from patients suspected to be under the influence. Okay? This was something that you guys agreed to with this hospital. The three things that allow us to do that are if you have an electronic warrant, patient consent, or patient under arrest. And neither of those things, the patient can't consent. He told me repeatedly that he doesn't have a warrant, and the patient is not under arrest. So I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do. That's all. So
I take it without those in place, I love everyone. Am I fair to surmise that?
The nurse intervened to prevent the officer from obtaining a blood sample from the unconscious patient, citing hospital policy supported by legal regulations. It was unsurprising that the officers failed to meet the necessary requirements. Their motive for seeking the blood samples was questionable. They sought to determine if the victim had consumed drugs or alcohol, potentially to justify the car crash, as police regulations strongly discourage high-speed chases and busy traffic to avoid endangering civilian lives, a protocol the officers neglected, resulting in the collision. Frustrated about not having his way, the officer proceeded to do something unbelievable.
Hey, we're done, sir. I had it. Seriously. Pain.
Detective Jeff Payne, later identified as the officer in question, forcefully grabbed the nurse, slamming her against the wall and handcuffing her simply because she had chosen to uphold the law and protect her patient's rights. Shortly thereafter, Detective Payne's supervisor, Lieutenant James Tracy, arrived at the scene and began to pressure and manipulate the nurse into complying with their demands for the blood sample.
I appreciate that you have a policy.
No, I know.
No, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm being told what to do and what I've been told.
And what I'm trying to tell you is, we wanted blood from this guy. Now, I have talked to people, and there's probably a much better solution that we could have come to, okay? But, all we had to do was get the blood, okay? And my point is, there are civil, if we're breaking the law, if we're doing wrong, okay?
Just listen to him.
Listen to me. If we're doing wrong, there are civil remedies, okay? It's called fruits of the poisonous tree. If we took this blood illegally, it all goes away, all right? So there's civil remedies if we make a mistake. What I'm telling you is, we are not making mistakes, okay? I've done this for 22 plus years. I know what the law is when it comes to search and seizure, all right? And what you have done, because your bosses are telling you to, has been to prevent this officer who was called out to do a job, to do his job. That's obstructing justice. Okay?
The two officers clearly have serious ego issues. The nurse was eventually released. She chose not to pursue charges against the officers or the police department, but despite this, Detective Jeff Payne was subsequently terminated from his position, and Lieutenant Tracy was demoted 2 ranks below to the role of a patrol officer after internal investigations conducted by the Salt Lake Police Department. The next case brings us to Loveland, where police fabricated charges against a Good Samaritan.
There's no reason for this. Get my phone, Sherry. This is up. Videotape this. All you had to do was talk to me. I didn't want to talk to you. I didn't have to talk to you. Doesn't matter.
On September 22nd, 2019, Loveland police officers responded to reports of a motorcycle crash outside a bar in Colorado. Upon reaching the scene, Officer Paul Ash noticed Preston Sowell and his girlfriend, who had previously assisted the victim trapped beneath his motorcycle. The officer initiated a conversation with Preston, marking the beginning of a highly eventful encounter.
Where is the bike at?
The bike's parked down on the
one?
side. Yeah, the blue one there. We pulled it off.
Okay, you mind coming and talk to me?
I don't know what happened.
Well, you pulled the bike off
I'm not talking
him.
to nobody.
Really?
These guys saw what happened. I didn't.
Okay, if you're not talking to anybody, you can leave.
Well, you can leave.
No.
You're dismissed.
No.
We can't leave. I'm not leaving.
Okay, then come and talk to me.
No, I'm not going to come talk to you.
Preston was well within his rights to refuse to answer questions. As protected by the Fifth Amendment right, he had no obligation to engage with the officer, and the officer lacked the authority to compel him to do so.
Police officer, man. Just...
I know.
Did you pull the bike? Did you pull the bike off him?
I'm not going to come talk to
Okay,
him.
that's...
Did you pull the bike off him?
I did not.
You just told me you
It
did.
has nothing to do with me.
Okay, you're free to leave.
Yeah, you're free to leave.
So
No, I don't have to talk to
this
anybody.
is gonna go one of two
I don't
ways.
have to talk to anybody.
This is gonna go
I don't
one of
have
two
to talk
ways.
to anybody.
Okay, either
I don't
you're
have
gonna
to talk
sit
to
here and
anybody.
talk to me,
No,
we'll just have a short
no,
conversation,
no.
or I can arrest you for obstruction.
No, you're not. I'm not obstructing
You
anything.
are.
You're right here.
Okay.
I'm not obstructing nothing.
The officer's threat to arrest Preston for obstruction was an abuse of power, as Colorado statutes define obstruction as the use of force, threat, or violence to prevent a law enforcement officer from performing their duty, circumstances which were not present at the time. Frustrated by his inability to assert control, the officer proceeded to make the most significant mistake of his career.
These guys are taking care of it.
Please just come talk to me.
No.
Okay, turn around.
I don't want to talk to you.
Turn around right now.
No. No.
Turn around.
Videotape this, Sherry.
I'm already doing
No.
this right here.
No.
Turn around.
No. You're wrong.
Turn around.
My constitutional rights.
around.
I don't have to talk to you. I don't
Turn
have to.
around.
I don't have to ID myself.
Turn around.
I don't know what happened. He came over. We saw him down. I came to help him get his bike up.
Okay, and that's what I need to talk to.
That's right.
So if you've
So
inserted yourself,
let me go.
if you've inserted yourself, you need to talk to me.
I don't
You're
need to talk to
obstructing
you.
an investigation.
I'm not obstructing
You are
anything.
under arrest for obstruction.
I'm
and
not
now for
obstructing
resisting.
it. I want to talk to your supervisor.
You can talk to him before you go to jail.
I'm not going to jail.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I helped the guy get his bike up.
That's why you
and
need to talk to
I'm
me.
obstructing.
The officers, along with their supervisor, engaged in a long deliberation about the trumped-up charges they could use against Preston. During this discussion, they deliberately muted their body cameras for the most part, but at certain moments, the cameras were left unmuted, capturing revelations that proved to be highly significant to Mr. Preston's defense.
Okay. You're here?
Yeah.
I need statements from the guy in the blue plaid shirt.
Okay.
The guy in the black Eagles thing.
Okay.
He was the one who moved his bike over there, or was moving it.
Eagles jersey over there?
Yeah. So he told me that he helped move the bike. So at that point in time, I gotta kind of reconstruct what happened. So he asked.
Well, he's tampering with evidence.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Officer Ash initially informed his supervisor that other bystanders had assisted in removing the bike from on top of the victim, corroborating Mr. Preston's accounts entirely. However, after muting their body cameras for an extended period, the officers decided to charge Mr. Preston with evidence tampering in an attempt to justify their assaults on him. As a result of the assault, Preston suffered severe injuries and required a complete shoulder replacement procedure. Several months later, all charges against Preston were dismissed by the court. Subsequently, Preston filed a lawsuit against both the officers and the city of Loveland. The city ultimately settled the lawsuit for $290,000. However, the officers faced no disciplinary action for their actions.